$10 million. Gone. Just like that. What started as a dream collaboration between Kendrick Lamar and I Am Cardi has now turned into the biggest financial scandal hip-hop has seen in years. An unreleased project, a shadowy production company, and a money trail that vanishes somewhere between Los Angeles and the Cayman Islands. No label wants to talk. No manager wants to be named. And both artists, usually loud when it comes to their truth, are completely silent. But silence has a way of making noise when there's $10 million missing. Tonight, we go behind the contracts, the studios, and the closed-door meetings to uncover what really happened. This is part 1. The missing check. The beginning of a story that proves. In this business, money doesn't just talk. It disappears. Hashtag Kendrick Lamar. Hashtag CARDIB. Hashtag hip-hop drama. The first whispers began in early summer. Cardi B had just wrapped her Pressure Deluxe tour. Kendrick was back in the studio after the Mirror session. Rumor had it they were working together. At first it sounded like fantasy. Two artists from completely different worlds. One rooted in street realism. The other in pop superstardom. Joining forces for something big. But then came a leak, in a quiet corner of the industry. Journalists began receiving coded messages from anonymous label insiders. One phrase repeated over and over: crown currency. It wasn't just a song. It was described as a movement, a project meant to merge conscious rap with commercial power, an anthem for both streets and charts. The deal was ambitious. $10 million in funding. Half from Cardi's label, Atlantic Records. Half from Kendrick's private investment arm, PG Long Creative Fund. And the structure was unusual. The money would be placed in a neutral production fund called Vox Soul LLC. Based in Delaware, a joint creative entity meant to give both sides control. But that control would become the fuse for everything that followed. At first, it was business as usual. Studio bookings, producers signed. Demo sessions held in New York and Los Angeles. But 2 months later, something shifted. Emails stopped. Producers stopped being paid. And quietly, someone from Cardi's team noticed that a large transaction, $10 million wired into Vox Soul's account, was no longer showing on the ledger. It wasn't moved. It was gone. When the accountants double-checked, the transaction history showed the same transfer made twice, once correctly, and once to an offshore entity named VSL Holdings, registered in the Cayman Islands. The directors, unknown. The address, fake. That was the first sign this was no ordinary mix-up. Kendrick's team found out days later. An internal message leaked from his camp read, "We're locking down access. The funds compromised. Do not communicate outside PG Lang." Cardi's management responded with a threat of legal review. A tension began brewing, and the blogs caught scent. At Hip Hop Radar tweeted, $10 million missing. Cardi B x Kendrick collab funds vanish under mysterious Delaware company. Hashtag crown currency. The post got 400K retweets overnight. But neither artist said a word. 4 weeks. Speculation grew. Was it embezzlement? A bad contract? Or a failed investment both sides wanted to hide? Behind closed doors, Kendrick was reportedly furious. Sources close to him said he felt set up. Cardi's people denied everything, claiming Atlantic had nothing to do with Vox Soul's offshore transfer. The more each side pointed fingers, the colder the air became. Then, another piece surfaced. A document dated July 19th, labeled Asset Allocation Agreement, leaked on Reddit. It bore the digital signatures of both artists' legal teams. But one line at the bottom set the internet on fire. Creative rights secured upon transfer receipt. In plain English, whoever controlled the money controlled the music. Crown currency became more than a project. It became a hostage. By late August, fans started noticing cryptic messages. Cardi tweeted and deleted, "Not everything that's lost is stolen." Kendrick, during an interview for a film soundtrack, said quietly, "Art's expensive when truth's involved." To most listeners, it sounded poetic. But those who followed the money knew. He was sending a message. Music insiders whispered that the missing $10 million was never meant for one song. It was a funding pool for an entire cross-platform project, part album, part film, part social campaign. If true, the losses would affect over 30 people, engineers, producers, writers, and editors, all waiting for payments that never came. Then came the first real evidence. A journalist from Billboard, Jenna Fields, received an encrypted folder anonymously titled crownaudit.zip. Inside were scanned pages of wire transfer confirmations, payment requests, and one chilling email chain between executives. Move forward as planned. Ensure the Cayman entity remains untraceable. Artists must not be informed until revenue cycle completes. It didn't name who sent it, but two initials appeared repeatedly. DF fans quickly identified them as Dion Frazier, Cardi's financial advisor and project consultant. At first, his LinkedIn went dark. Then his company's site was deleted. Days later, TMZ confirmed Frazier had resigned from Cardi's business team to focus on personal matters. Translation: he disappeared that same week. Academics posted a story captioned, "So the $10 million Cardi x Kendrick fund manager just vanished? Nah, this story crazy." Hashtag crown currency. It hit 1 million views before sunrise. Still, both camps refused to speak. Cardi's label issued a short statement. "All financial matters are being reviewed internally. We have full confidence in our partners." Kendrick's rep responded bluntly, "There's no partnership when the math don't add up." From there, the internet did what it does best: speculate. Some claimed the money funded ghost projects in Vegas. Others said it was part of a larger laundering network used by music execs to dodge taxes. But one theory dominated. Reddit threads. The money wasn't stolen. It was reinvested into something neither artist authorized. A user named SoundMiner32 wrote, "Look at Voxel's filings. They added a new branch called Metavox Productions right before the funds disappeared. It's a shell move. They turned artists' capital into IP." That comment got 12,000 upvotes before being mysteriously deleted by September. Crown currency had become a ghost. The only existing evidence of the project was a 30-second studio clip showing Cardi laughing beside Kendrick in a dim booth, captioned, "Something legendary coming soon." That was 4 months ago. Since then, nothing, no song, no statement. Just a hole in the books $10 million wide. And somewhere, maybe in a digital vault or buried on a private server, sits a finished track the world may never hear, because what began as collaboration now sounds more like confession. #CARDIB, hashtag Kendrick Lamar, hashtag crown currency. The internet had moved on. At least, that's what the headline said. But deep in the corners of Reddit, Discord, and private Telegram servers, something new was spreading. A folder, unmarked, encrypted. Its title, Vault 47, appeared on a small forum for audio engineers first. Inside were files labeled with strange initials: CC_V1.WAV, CC_V2.MP3, CC_master_A, and each file carried the same hidden metadata tag: property of Voxel LLC, confidential. People thought it was fake until one track opened with a voice no one could mistake. Kendrick's. The first words sent shockwaves through the underground. 10 million reasons they want us quiet. Within hours, the internet caught fire again. Hashtag Kendrick Lamar trended first. Hashtag crown currency followed. Then came hashtag the vault files, the tag that turned the rumor into a movement. By the next morning, snippets were everywhere. TikTok edits, fan remixes, YouTube breakdowns, and every single one linked back to a single source. A Dropbox link allegedly hosted in Iceland. 3 tracks. 1 clearly unfinished. 2 fully mixed, mastered, and untagged. Track 1 was titled Blue Ledger. Track 2, no receipts. Track 3, simply Silence Feet, CB. At first, Fans thought CB meant Chris Brown. But when Cardi's ad-libs hit in the second verse, that unmistakable Bronx energy, the entire internet froze. It was her unreleased, unapproved, and dangerously raw in silence feat. CB. Cardi's verse cut like glass. Ain't no refund for faith. They wired lies in my name. Purr. 10 zeros turned ghost. Still, they point at my face. She never confirmed it, but the delivery, the rhythm, and the tone made it impossible to deny. Someone had leaked unfinished material from the Crown Currency sessions. When the leak hit mainstream blogs, the labels scrambled. Atlantic Records lawyers immediately sent takedown notices across all platforms. Spotify banned accounts reposting snippets. Even Genius took down lyric pages after legal threats. But it was too late. The tracks had gone viral in less than 12 hours. A tweet from @CultureMag read, "Vault 47 leak is wild. Kendrick rapping about fake funds. Cardi firing back about missing millions. This ain't no misunderstanding. This is WAR. War, the very thing both artists were trying to avoid." Behind the scenes, the tension was boiling. A source close to Cardi told Rolling Stone, "She feels betrayed. That music wasn't supposed to see daylight. If someone from Kendrick's side leaked it, that's foul." Kendrick's camp denied it completely. A Topped Against social media manager tweeted, "Leaks ain't our style. We protect the art, always have. We protect the art, always have." Still, the damage was done. Every upload of Silence gained millions of views before being taken down. And within 24 hours, an anonymous SoundCloud account named @VoxWitness uploaded all 3 tracks again, this time watermarked with coordinates. When fans traced them, they pointed to a small suburb outside Atlanta. Enter Dion Frazier. The missing manager, journalist at Mela Cruz from The Source, claimed she received a private email hours after the coordinates went public. Subject line, "You're asking the wrong people." The message contained an image of a hard drive, silver casing. Black marker scribbled on the side, "CC Vault copy." Attached was a note. "The truth's not in the music. It's in the books." Those 7 words reignited everything. Reddit detectives began digging into Voxel's filings again. They discovered something chilling, a payment of $250,000 labeled server maintenance. Made 1 week after Dion disappeared. The destination? A private cybersecurity firm in Atlanta called Ledgerframe Technologies. Guess what? The coordinates matched their office location. The next morning, Cardi went live on Instagram, visibly angry. "If somebody leaking my work to save themselves, you better pray I don't find out, 'cause now this ain't business, it's personal." The clip exploded. Over 10 million views in 3 hours. Fans flooded comment sections tagging at Kendrick Lamar, demanding answers. Kendrick remained silent. No tweets, no statements. Just one cryptic story. A photo of his notebook page reading, "The vault ain't where they think." The caption. That post got 4 million likes and a million theories. Hash. The vault files became a global phenomenon overnight. Artists, journalists, and even crypto investigators weighing in. Podcasts speculated that Voxel had been laundering not just project funds, but potentially investor money tied to music NFTs and unregistered digital royalties. The theory was wild, but not impossible. Meanwhile, FBI documents leaked via @PopCulture Intel suggested an ongoing financial investigation into a Delaware-registered creative fund linked to offshore IP transfers. Names were blacked out, but the case code was VSL47CC. Fans instantly decoded it. VSL equals Voxel LLC 47 equals Vault. 47CC equals Crown Currency. Suddenly, what looked like drama between 2 artists now smelled like federal crime. Even Cardi's attorney, Mark Irving, went on record. "We are cooperating with authorities to ensure Mrs. Almanzar's financial integrity is protected. Any narrative suggesting artistic negligence is false." Translation: Cardi wasn't backing down. The plot thickened when a reporter from Pitchfork uncovered flight records showing Dion Fraser's last known movement, a private jet from Miami to Nassau, Bahamas, paid for under the name M. Carter. The same alias appeared on Vox Soul's Cayman filings. Then, late one night, an anonymous Dropbox file titled Vault47_statement.mp4 began circulating. It showed grainy footage of someone believed to be Dion sitting in a hotel room, saying they wanted a story, not the truth. I gave them both. He never mentioned Kendrick or Cardi by name, but ended with one sentence that made everyone stop scrolling. Check who signed the second transfer. That line detonated across social media. Fans began analyzing leaked financial PDFs, comparing signatures, and buried deep in one document from Vox Soul's August filing, they found something unbelievable: a digital authorization code linked to PG Long Creative Fund, meaning someone from Kendrick's investment side might have approved the secondary transfer. Hashtag the Vault Files, hashtag CARDIB, hashtag Kendrick Lamar, hash Crown Currency. Kendrick's PR team immediately denied involvement, releasing a statement through @PGLang official: "Forgery is a digital disease. Don't mistake hacked metadata for truth." But the narrative had already shifted. For the first time, Cardi's camp felt justified in suspecting Kendrick's side, and hip-hop media began framing it as Kendrick versus Cardi, the money war. Fans divided. Some defended Kendrick as a victim of corporate corruption. Others stood with Cardi, claiming she was the only one speaking facts. Amid the chaos, the New York Times published a deep dive headlined $10 million. Two artists and a digital heist inside the Crown Currency collapse. The article concluded with a haunting line: "The art may be gone, but the trail isn't." In the following days, Atlantic quietly wiped every trace of Crown Currency from its archives. But it didn't matter. The internet had already archived everything. Fans began circulating the hashtag release Crown Currency, demanding the official track drop. Some even claimed to possess full versions hidden on private hard drives. By now, both artists' reputations were on the line. Endorsements paused. PR teams doubled their guards. And just when it seemed the dust might settle, a new clip leaked. A private studio video from a security camera showing @IamCardeb confronting Kendrick across a recording booth, saying, "You can't ghost me with my own voice, bro." Kendrick's face was calm, but his words were ice cold. The vault wasn't mine to open. That 6-second clip hit 20 million views in one night, and the war officially on. Kendrick Lamar, hashtag CARDIB, hashtag the Vault Files. The next morning, the industry woke up to chaos. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, every feed flooded with one sentence: "The vault wasn't mine to open." Kendrick's words echoed like a confession. But was it guilt or warning? Within hours, hashtag the Vault Files hit 62 million mentions. At Popbase called it the most explosive hip-hop controversy of the decade. And at IamCardeb's live stream the night before became the stuff of internet legend. She didn't hold back. Standing in her kitchen, no makeup, hair tied up, eyes wild with fury. Cardi told her 33 million followers, "They playin' with my art, my time, my name. If it takes burning the whole label down, I'ma do it. Period." She slammed her phone down. The video froze mid-motion. It racked up 12 million views in under 3 hours. Meanwhile, Kendrick stayed silent. No statements. No clarifications. It's just one black and white post. Truth don't need volume. Philosophical and maddeningly vague. Fans split in half. One side hashtag Team CARDI, believing she was the victim of a corporate setup. The other hashtag Team KDOT, convinced Kendrick was protecting something bigger. Documentaries popped up overnight. Influencers dissected every lyric, every leaked file, every timestamp. At hip-hop, Detective uploaded a 40-minute breakdown titled "The Vault Explained: How $10 million vanished from Crown currency." Within a day, it hit 9 million views. He pointed out something no one had noticed before: the date of the leaked silence foot. CB file matched the same day Voxel's internal Slack servers went offline. Coincidence or cover-up? Meanwhile, mainstream media joined in. Rolling Stone, Variety, Billboard, all running cover stories. The New York Post went even bolder. Kendrick and Cardi from collab to Cold War. Brand partners grew nervous. Cardi's Balenciaga campaign paused pending clarity. Kendrick's Spotify spotlight disappeared overnight. And then, Voxel CEO finally broke silence at a press conference in Los Angeles. Mara Densley, the polished but nervous face of the company, stood behind the podium. Her voice trembled as cameras flashed. "These are unfounded rumors. No funds were mishandled. Voxel remains committed to both artists." But when a journalist shouted, "Then where's Dion Frazier?" she froze. Security stepped in. The live stream cut abruptly, within minutes. #WhereIsDion trended globally. 3 days later, TMZ dropped a bombshell. Exclusive: missing manager Dion Frazier spotted in Nassau under fake name. The grainy footage showed a man wearing sunglasses and a baseball cap entering a beachfront villa. Reporters confirmed his alias M. Carter, the same one tied to the mysterious offshore payments. Cardi reposted the TMZ headline with 3 words: "Now, talk to me." Kendrick stayed quiet, but silence wasn't protection anymore. Hackers, claiming to be part of Anonymous, leaked what they called the Crown Docs, a 40-page PDF filled with financial transfers, encrypted emails, and voice notes. The file spread faster than fire. And buried in page 19 was the message that shook the internet. Transfer approved by K. Duckworth, Kendrick's real name. Within hours, K. Duckworth was the #1 trending term worldwide. The blogs went wild. Headlines screamed, "Kendrick signed the transfer. Was K. in on it? Vault 47 just got personal." But experts were divided. At Musical Insider tweeted, "Digital forensics show possible forgery. Signatures embedded via PNG overlay. Could be fake." Others disagreed. At Hip Hop Leaks wrote, "If it's forged, why hasn't Kendrick's team released proof? The silence is louder than the leak." The community was in chaos. That's when Cardi made her move. She posted a video titled "The Real Vault." It opened with no music, just her voice. They've been lying for months. It kept receipts. She held up a folder, then opened her laptop on camera. The screen showed a series of email screenshots. One dated April 14th, subject line: "Crown split proposal, internal use only." The sender: Dion Frazier, Voxel, the recipient. Kendrick at pgfunds.io attached. A PDF named transfer_joint_2nd.pdf.card. I single quotes as voice trembled with anger. "Y'all tell me if he ain't involved. Why he getting emails about transfers I never signed?" The internet went nuclear. #Kendrick. Exposed. #The Real Vault. #Justice for Cardi, all trending simultaneously. Kendrick's PR team responded within the hour. A carefully worded tweet from @PGLangOfficial read, "The emails shown are fabricated. We are pursuing legal action for digital manipulation and defamation." But it was too late. The comment section was a war zone. Fans quoting his lyrics, "You said you'd fight for the culture, not the check. So who are you protecting now?" By nightfall, Kendrick's streaming numbers dropped 22% in a single day. Meanwhile, Cardi's invasion of privacy re-entered Billboard's top 20 momentum had shifted. Then, another twist. At Pitchfork leaked a snippet from a private Voxel audit report. One sentence, redacted but legible, read, "A secondary beneficiary was created without consent. Beneficiary initials CB." Everyone gasped. Was it Cardi? Or was someone using her initials to frame her? Suddenly, both sides looked guilty. YouTube commentators tore it apart. At Jakarta went live, yo, if both their names in the paperwork, this ain't beef. It's business gone bad. They both got played. Even at Nicki, Minaj chimed in with a cryptic tweet. Watch the puppets dance while the strings burn. The tweet got 2.3 million likes and reignited old fan wars. As public chaos grew, a new figure emerged. Kelsey Miro, a whistleblower and former Voxel accountant. She went on The Breakfast Club claiming both artists were victims. The company was using their IPs to inflate crypto asset valuations. The vault wasn't about music, it was about digital leverage. When asked who authorized it, she dropped a bomb. Ask Mara Densley why she signed under Kendrick's alias. The studio fell silent. Charlemagne blinked twice and said, "Wait, you mean exactly?" She interrupted. The system used his name to authenticate funds. He didn't sign anything. He was the key. Hashtag the vault files exploded again. Now the story had flipped. Kendrick wasn't the thief. He was the password. Overnight, sentiment shifted. Cardi deleted several old tweets aimed at him. Fans noticed. Atbard Updates wrote, "She cleaning up. Peace talk incoming." The next day, she confirmed it. A short clip on Instagram. "It's deeper than y'all think. I spoke to him. Ain't no beef, but people gonna pay for what they did." The internet erupted. Cheers, memes, reaction videos. For the first time in weeks, both sides looked united. A shared enemy had appeared, and then the impossible happened. At Kendrick Lamar and at Cardi were both spotted entering a studio in Burbank, California. Same night, same car, no entourage. Paparazzi photos went viral instantly. Hashtag Crown Reborn trended worldwide. No one knew what they were recording. But one thing was clear. The fallout wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something far bigger. Kendrick Lamar. Hashtag CARDIB. Hashtag the Vault Files. Hashtag Crown Reborn. Hashtag Hip Hop Documentary. Hashtag Vox Soul. The footage of at Kendrick Lamar and at Cardi walking into that Burbank studio sent shockwaves through the industry. 2 weeks earlier, they were digital enemies. Now, under a single midnight sky, they were allies. The label denied it. Fans didn't care. Hashtag Crown Reborn trended across every platform. A rare unity in a fractured culture. No one knew what was happening behind those soundproof doors. But one thing was certain. Something was about to drop. Inside, the room was dim. Kendrick sat cross-legged, hoodie up, tapping a pencil against a legal pad. Cardi paced the floor, diamond nails glinting under the studio lights. Their voices were low, but a camera hidden in the corner, later leaked by someone inside Voxel, captured fragments of history in motion. "They used us both," Kendrick said. "They gon' regret that." Cardi replied. The file leaked as Vault47_reunion.mov, and the world lost its mind. By dawn, the internet had gone feral. Clips of the video circulated everywhere, dissected frame by frame. Reddit sleuths noticed a whiteboard behind them with a single word scribbled in black marker: receipts. 3 days later, an anonymous post appeared on X, tagged simply at Kendrick Lamar at Cardi. Drop it. They can't stop you now. Attached was a zip file labeled their receipts _final.zip. Within an hour, it hit millions of downloads. Inside, a treasure trove of evidence, internal memos, hidden transfers, and a digital signature log linking everything back to Mara Densley, Voxel's CEO. It turned out that the so-called missing $10 million had never left the company. It was sitting quietly in a cryptocurrency wallet under a shell corporation, Crown Holdings Ltd, registered in the Cayman Islands, and the signature that proved Kendrick's guilt. A digital overlay forged through an AI authentication tool designed by Voxel itself. The revelation hit like an earthquake. CNN called it the biggest fraud scandal in modern music history. At Complex tweeted, "Kendrick was never the thief. He was the target." And Cardi, She went live again, but this time not in anger. Her tone was calm, measured, almost eerie. "They thought we'd fight each other while they robbed us both blind," she said. But the streets talk, and the truth came out. Behind her on the wall hung a platinum plaque for "I like it" next to it. A handwritten note, "Trust no one but the beat," in a rare joint statement. At Kendrick Lamar and at I Am Cardi announced a new track titled "Crown Collapse," scheduled for midnight. No label, no promotion. Just fire. Within hours, millions of fans lined up on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music waiting. The anticipation was electric. It wasn't just about music anymore. It was justice through sound. When the beat dropped, the internet froze. The song opened with Cardi's voice. "They tried to buy my silence. I charged M in bars." Then Kendrick's verse slid in, smooth and surgical. 10 million gone, but the soul stayed pure. You can't price the pain when the truth's insured. Every line was a dagger aimed straight at Vauxhall's empire. Every word echoed through boardrooms and press halls. Within 5 minutes, #Crown Collapse was trending globally. In 24 hours, it shattered streaming records to 112 million plays, the largest debut in history. And then, just as the world celebrated the victory, another twist emerged. Investigators uncovered that Mara Densley had fled the country. Interpol issued a red notice. Her last known location, Zurich. Reports suggested she was trying to move the remaining funds from Crown Holdings into a private account. But she wasn't alone. Leaked airport footage showed her accompanied by Dion Fraser, the missing manager. He wasn't kidnapped, he was complicit. Cardi reacted instantly. "I told y'all, I smell a snake." Kendrick reposted her story with a single emoji. It became the symbol of poetic justice. A week later, a final piece of the puzzle surfaced. Whistleblower Kelsey Miro returned to the media, revealing that Vauxhall had been laundering money through false music investments for nearly 4 years, using high-profile artists as anchors to inflate digital asset value. The $10 million wasn't just missing, it was collateral. The government stepped in. FBI raids, frozen accounts, arrest warrants. Vauxhall's stock plummeted 87% overnight. Mara and Dion were captured 2 days later at a Swiss villa. When the news broke, Cardi posted "Full circle." And Kendrick wrote, "Truth takes time, but it don't miss." The internet crowned them both as legends reborn. #The Vault Files officially closed. 3 months later, the documentary The Vault, $10 million Lies premiered on Netflix. It opened with a black screen, then white text faded in, based on real digital events. Inspired by silence. The closing scene. Cardi and Kendrick on stage at the Grammys performing Crown Collapse together. When the beat hit, the crowd roared so loud it shook the rafters. Cardi smiled mid-performance and shouted, "We ain't victims, we visionaries." Kendrick grinned back, "And we keep receipts." The audience went wild. Standing ovations, tears, history reclaimed. In the aftermath, industry analysts called it a seismic shift. Artists began demanding transparency in contracts. Labels scrambled to rebuild trust. Even Rihanna tweeted, "That's how you burn the system down with art." #Crown Reborn became more than a trend. It was a movement, a digital rebellion wrapped in rhythm. And as for Cardi and Kendrick, they never confirmed if another collab was coming. But fans noticed something curious. Every midnight, at Kendrick Lamar's X bio changed one word at a time. Over weeks, it formed a sentence. The crown may fall, but the kingdom stays. Then, one night, Cardi posted a single crown emoji. The internet erupted again. Because in hip-hop, silence isn't the end. It's the echo before the next verse. #Kendrick Lamar, #CARDIB, #Crown Reborn, #The Vault Files. #Crown Collapse, #Crown Collapse, #Breaking the System, #The Reckoning. The story you just witnessed isn't just about music. It's about power, loyalty, and truth that refuses to die. What started as a $10 million betrayal became the loudest message in modern hip-hop history. When @Kendrick Lamar and @IamCardi turned pain into purpose, they did more than break the internet. They rewrote the rules. So now we ask you, what would you have done in their place? Protect the bag or burn the system? Drop your thoughts below, hit that subscribe button, and join the conversation. Because this isn't the end. This is just the outro before the remix. Hashtag stay woke, hashtag crown reborn, hashtag hip hop culture lives. Reborn, hashtag hip hop culture lives.